Senator Biden, thank you. I have another internet question. It's for Congressman Kucinich from Diana at Cooksville, Tennessee. And she writes, I lost my job last year because the plant closed. I've tried to get a permanent job to get health insurance, but the only thing I can find is temporary, where there is no health insurance. I am 60 years old, too young to retire. We need health care for every citizen in the USA. What can you do about this problem?
I've already introduced the bill. I'm the co-author of a bill, H.R. 676, to provide for universal, single-payer, not-for-profit health care, Medicare for all. Isn't it time to cover every American with a not-for-profit system? Furthermore, 46 million Americans without any health care, 50 million Americans uninsured. You know and I know. This is the issue at the bargaining table. With my plan, no more premiums, no more co-pays, no more deductibles. We're already paying for a universal standard of care. We're not getting it. Let's take health care off the bargaining table and put it right in the kitchen where people have the care with a Kucinich plan for universal, single-payer, not-for-profit health care. Thank you.
Congressman Kucinich, thank you. I'm going to stray from our schedule here. Senator Edwards, your name was invoked, at least by inference, by Senator Biden. Would you like to respond in 30 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, every president of a union who's here today and their membership knows exactly where I've been. 200 times I've walked on picket lines. I was on a picket line on Saturday. I was on a picket line on Sunday. I have been in organizing campaigns all over this country. Here's the America that I believe in. I believe in an America where anyone who works hard is able to earn a decent wage. I believe in America where somebody who works hard doesn't have to worry about whether their child has health care. I believe in an America where anybody who's been with a company for 20 years has a pension and it can't be taken away. And finally, I believe in an America where if you have to go out on strike, no scab can walk through that picket line and take your job away from you. That's what kind of America I believe in, and that's the kind of America I will lead as President of the United States.
Senator Edwards, from a right-to-work state, though, are you not? In 15 seconds, are you not from a right-to-work state?
I am, and I have been a leader on the issues of organized labor and the issues of labor unions for years and years and years. Even though I'm from a state that has a just like Joe, and he deserves credit for that, I'm from a state that has a very small organized labor contingent. But I want to say something about this. The reason that it's so important to have a President of the United States who understands the importance of organized labor, not just the politics, not just for political support, but understands and is willing to speak to America about the critical importance of organized labor in the long-term economic security of all Americans, not just those who are in labor unions now. Labor unions built the middle class in this country. The American people need to hear and understand that.
Thank you. I have to, Senator Dodd I've got people waiting to ask this next question of Senator Dodd. Senator Biden.
1997.
Let me get some of these good people their questions. It's for Senator Dodd. Bob Flynn from Chicago. Bob?
Yes, I'm a union insulator. We work building buildings, making them energy efficient. Unfortunately, many companies don't invest in energy efficient products, even though in the long run they'll save money. If you're president, what policies would you implement to make businesses invest in energy efficient technologies to stop our reliances on foreign oil and help our environment?
Senator Dodd.
Great question. Let me just say one quick thing on this health care issue. Every member of Congress up here has a pretty good health care plan. I want Americans to have as good a health care plan as members of Congress have. Regarding this issue here, look, on energy issues here, I believe very strongly that we all share the same goals up here. But I stand for having an 80% reduction in CO2 by the year 2080. We do so by setting a mile per gallon standard of 50 miles per gallon by the year 2017. There were automobiles produced back in 1983 that got 43 miles per gallon. We can do a lot better. I would tax those who pollute. I would use the money from that to invest in the alternative technologies of wind and solar and ethanol and other biofuels that would make it possible for us to become independent. There's no other gift that you and I can give to our children or our grandchildren that could be more important than having an independent energy policy, utilizing the technologies and ideas that exist in this country. It ought to be a priority for us to do so, to improve our health, to create jobs, and to lessen the kind of national security problems we face all over the world because of oil interests. I stand for it, and as president, I'll fight for it.
Thank you, Senator Dodd. I have an internet question for you, Senator Clinton, if you can stand by for this, from Shirley Forpe in Schaumburg, who is a member of Local 1211 of the IFT-AFT, and it is relevant because this is coming up for reauthorization next month. She asks, what specific changes to the No Child Left Behind do you believe must be made?
Okay, in 30 seconds, let me take 15 seconds to answer the previous gentleman's question. I believe that I have supported a green building fund and green-collar job training with the AFL-CIO that will put a lot of people to work, like the insulator who just asked that question. And it's important that we do this because we can create millions of new jobs. Specifically with No Child Left Behind, it has been a terrible imposition on teachers and school districts and families and students. And part of it is because it was not funded. It was an unfunded mandate. And part of it is that the Department of Education under President Bush did not absolutely enforce it and interpret it in the right way. So we need growth models for students. We need broader curriculum. We need to make sure that when we look at our children, we don't just see a little walking test. We've got to have a total check.